The killer had been there from the very beginning. The small town of Lynette, Alabama, was usually quiet. People knew each other. Neighbors waved from their porches. Kids rode bikes down the streets without fear. But on one hot summer day in 1998, everything changed. Because inside a peaceful home, a terrible secret was waiting to be discovered. And for years, nobody knew the truth. This is the chilling true story of Charlotte Waits. It was the morning of August 4th, 1998. Charlotte's daughter, Heather, walked into the family home expecting a normal day. But almost immediately, something felt wrong. The house was too quiet. There was no sound from the kitchen, no footsteps upstairs, no voice calling her name. Then Heather saw something terrifying. Her mother was lying at the bottom of the stairs. Charlotte was not moving. Heather screamed for help. Police and paramedics rushed to the home. At first, investigators were confused. Charlotte's body was near the staircase, so some people wondered if she had fallen by accident. But then, a thought haunted everyone who saw her body. Others noticed signs that looked like a robbery. Furniture was out of place. Items were scattered around the home. But detectives quickly discovered something disturbing. Charlotte's injuries did not match a simple fall. There were signs of a violent struggle, and investigators believed she had been strangled. Someone had murdered her inside her own home. The town was shocked. Charlotte was known as a kind and respected school administrator. Many people in Lynette knew her personally. She worked hard and cared deeply about her family. Nobody could understand why someone would want to hurt her. Soon, police started looking at the people closest to Charlotte, and one name immediately stood out. Her husband, Barry Waits. Barry was an important man in town. He was serving as the acting mayor, and many people respected him. In public, he appeared calm and friendly. But investigators had questions. Where was Barry when Charlotte died? Did he have problems with his wife? Could he have been hiding something? Police learned that Barry claimed he had been away during the murder. He also seemed calm when speaking to investigators, which some people thought was strange. Still, police could not find enough evidence to charge him. There were no fingerprints tying him to the crime. No witnesses saw him attack Charlotte. And his alibi seemed strong enough. So detectives were forced to look somewhere else. Months passed, then years, and the case slowly grew cold. But the mystery never disappeared. Rumors spread across the town. Some people believed a stranger had entered the home. Others thought someone close to the family knew more than they were saying. Police followed many different leads. At one point, investigators looked closely at Charlotte's cousin. Later, suspicion even fell on Heather's boyfriend. But every lead ended the same way. Nothing could be proven. The case remained unsolved. As the years passed, Charlotte's daughters struggled with fear and sadness. Losing their mother had changed their lives forever. But according to later reports, something even darker was happening behind closed doors. The girls reportedly felt afraid of their own father. Meanwhile, Barry continued living in the community. To many people, he still looked like a respected public official. But whispers followed him everywhere. Then, something unexpected happened. An election rival publicly accused Barry of killing his wife. The accusation shocked the town. Suddenly, people began looking at the case again. Old evidence was reopened. Investigators reviewed old witness statements, and detectives started asking new questions. This time, the pressure on Barry grew much stronger. Police began noticing strange things connected to the investigation. Some tips sent to detectives seemed suspicious. It later appeared that someone may have been trying to confuse investigators on purpose. Then came the biggest breakthrough of all, and it came from the people who knew the truth best: Charlotte's own daughters. Heather and Kara finally spoke out. What they revealed changed the case forever. According to the daughters, Barry had been struggling financially before Charlotte's death. There were arguments over money and inheritance issues inside the family. The daughters believed their father became desperate. Then they revealed the terrifying secret they had carried for years. They said Barry killed Charlotte. Investigators were stunned. For years, police had searched everywhere for answers. And now, the truth was finally coming from inside the family itself. The daughters also claimed their father had intimidated them over the years. They said he wanted to keep control of the story and prevent the truth from coming out. Even worse, investigators learned that Barry may have planted fake tips to send police in the wrong direction. If true, it meant the killer had been manipulating the investigation from the very beginning. The case finally moved toward trial. Inside the courtroom, prosecutors explained how Charlotte's murder was not an accident or a robbery gone wrong. They argued it was a planned killing, driven by money problems and desperation. Barry denied the accusations, but the evidence and testimony continued building against him. Then, the jury reached its decision. In 2006, 8 years after Charlotte's death, Barry Waits was found guilty of first-degree murder. The courtroom fell silent. The man many people once trusted had been convicted of killing his own wife. Barry was sentenced to 40 years in prison. For Charlotte's daughters, the verdict brought a mix of emotions. There was sadness, relief, pain, and finally, some form of justice. But the damage done to the family could never fully disappear. The case shocked people across Alabama because it revealed something terrifying. Sometimes, the danger is not from strangers. Sometimes, it comes from inside the home. For years, investigators searched for mysterious outsiders, robbers, and hidden suspects. But in the end, the truth had been much closer all along. And without the courage of Charlotte's daughters, the case may have stayed unsolved forever. Today, the story of Charlotte Waits is remembered as one of Alabama's most disturbing family murder cases. A respected school worker, a trusted husband, a quiet small town hiding a deadly secret, and 2 daughters who finally chose to speak the truth. Because sometimes, justice takes years. And the truth hides behind smiles, power, and fear. But eventually, secrets have a way of coming out. And on that summer morning in 1998, when Heather walked into her silent home, she had no idea that the mystery surrounding her mother's death would haunt her family for nearly a decade. A mystery that ended with one heartbreaking truth. The killer had been there from the very beginning.